Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of the Daily Blunt. I'm Dava Fett, I'm going to be your host, and we're going to cover a lot of shit. You're going to see me kind of looking down because this is a raw format. Basically, the whole premise of this is a veteran, an everyday veteran, reading the news, covering issues that we all face, veteran, non-veteran alike, every day, but I kind of keep it in a blunt format, and there is cannabis. So a little bit of an introduction and kind of an idea, what the goal of all this is. I was a Marine, and, I live in the state of Texas where we have a 40 a month veteran suicide rate. We got a 22 veteran suicide rate nationwide, but we got a 40 a month suicide rate here in the state of Texas. It's 22 a day nationwide, 40 a month here in the state of Texas. So we average about one veteran death a day through suicide. I created legislation to lower that number. Senate Bill 1622 here in the state of Texas, known as Camo Alert. It's waiting its day in the House. It made it through the Senate unanimously, and now we're just waiting on the House to get motivated. But Texas has a weird legislative cycle. A lot of things that didn't make it last session are on this session, so it's a long period. Not even gonna lie. We're really trying to work with that weird kind of time thing. I do work on a lot of issues with veterans. I don't have a group, I don't have a committee, I don't have a secretary that works on this with me. Any of the legislation that I create, I've created on my own. I created the idea for Camo Alert. I took it to a senator, and he liked the idea and gave me my 3 minutes in front of the Senate subcommittee, which kind of kicked everything off. So I'm going to cover that either a little bit later in this or in another episode. But, if somebody tells you you cannot change the world by yourself, actually, yeah, you can. And you only need 3 minutes to do it. Just saying. So our show is going to be brought to you by Smoky Hash and One-E's Dugouts. We're working on a few more sponsors. Maybe then we can do a lot different format. But, you work with, one thing I learned in the military, especially in the Marine Corps, is you work with what you have. It's about mission accomplishment, not mission make excuses. So me and my business partner, he's like, Jay, you really got to get these videos. You could help a lot of people. You help a lot of people as it is. This is really your forte. You just got to find a format that's comfortable for you, but you really need to start getting. So this is what we have. And I am working on getting, a really nice camera. I got a badass laptop. I just don't like the camera on it. And I really want to bring a much better value to what we do. But for now, this is what I got to work with. So I got notes. I got an iPhone. So when people say, well, you don't have a good camera. Well, okay, well, thank you. And fuck you, Jeff. You don't have an alpha bone in your body. Your girlfriend does, but, point is you work with what you got. So I'm going to say thank you to our sponsor, Smoky Hash. Always good. Always good. Grab my Dr. Pepper. I love Dr. Peppers. So, there it is. So, I want to take a second and recognize a veteran out there that is really using a lot of the skills they learned in boot camp to apply to things we do today. And I'm going to take a second and talk about the brewmaster there at Cedar Creek Brewery. He Marine Reserve, and I know every Marine's got some comment, but we all get the same boot camp. And when you sit down and you talk to Thor about beer, the guy gets a big grin on his face, and he really gets into his beer. And you know, listening to him talk about how they do each different beer, you know, like my favorite is kind of different. It takes like 7 to 9 months to ferment. I like it. I don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks. It's like, I think 7%, or yeah, it's like 7%. But it's really good beer. I love it. I like it. They also make a Belgian style, which is fucking amazing. It's actually a gold medal winner. So, but you know, his name's Thor, and literally his name's actually Thor. Like on his driver's license, his name is Thor. And but you listen to this guy talk about his beer, and I've watched him because when I usually go up there and eat every night, and I have a couple of beers because, you know, they have a beer garden. I like to watch, you know, because you can watch him work at the brewery, and the way this guy does things, you know, having been through Marine Corps boot camp, I'm like, yeah, this guy's the attention to detail, the way he checks things, the quality he brings to the product, the way he talks about new beers they play around with. Oh yeah, we make our own yeast. You know, we have specific types of yeast. Not all yeast is the same, and it's really great to see somebody that was in the military that's using a lot of the skills they learned and that are applying them to the outside world. And he encourages people, hey, if you like making beer, love to sit down and talk to you. So, you know, it's great to see that. It really is. And that's one of those things where if I know a veteran that might be, you know, kind of on the fence, you know, about his life, I'm like, hey, listen, go down and have a beer, talk to Thor. You know, let him give you a tour of the brewery, man. And you can see somebody that has used his experience in the military to apply it to what he does. Maybe I don't see the guy wearing Marine Corps t-shirts and have Marine Corps motivational stuff, but you can tell by the way the guy carries himself and his attention to the details in his job and his interactions with people that he was military. And you know, that's our first episode. I really want to talk about that guy, you know, amazing guy. In fact, I'm going to do you one better. Another veteran that is out there just doing wonderful and taking that same military bearing to what they do is Scott Albright with Prestige Appearances. Scott started his business over a year ago, and Scott's been hitting it hard. I've seen this veteran go through some ups and downs in his life. I mean, some serious ups and downs. If you know Scott, you know Scott has been through the fucking ringer. And right now, Scott's in, like, I think, Central or South America. I think he's in Ecuador. Having a good time, doing his job. He gets to work with celebrities. This motherfucker gets to work with celebrities from movies and TV shows we grew up watching. I mean, this guy's got the ultimate nerd life. You know, and it's good to see Scott. I'm really best friends with the guy, and we talk almost daily. And I hear this guy talk about how he wants to make his clients happy, and he said, you know, he tells them, look, I've just got this thing about me. I'm gonna make sure the job gets done right. And it's that taking from a period in his life that has been traumatic, that's been, you know, a cause of his PTSD, but still taking positive, solid skills from that and using it in his business today. So it's the skills we learn in the military do not always leave us, and a lot of times they can be just immensely useful. Last veteran I'm going to talk about, and then I'm going to move on to you know, some therapy things before we move on into the news, is Fred Smith, the founder and creator of FedEx. Now, FedEx was created by a Marine, based off of the Marine Corps' logistics, how we move shit. So, if you're a liberal or somebody that looks down on the military, you might reconsider your thoughts on that, because one of the richest men who controls the world, Fred Smith, was a Marine. He created FedEx. Just saying. And as we talk about veterans and PTSD, I want to take a second to talk about, dialectical behavioral therapy for just a second. Now, that is basically looking at situations that make you mad, or situations that upset you or trigger you, and looking at why they upset you or trigger you. It's very difficult, and it can take years before you really get comfortable using it all the time. But it really does help. It helps immensely. Using it with cannabis and getting that therapy with doctors until you get comfortable doing it on your own really helps. And it can change your life. It can change everything in your life. The way you interact with family, how you interact with certain family members that maybe you've always had issues with, but you've learned some new techniques that have advanced your life, So when you're sitting down with your therapist, or you're talking to somebody might be a doctor, or you're Googling something, Google dialectical behavioral therapy. Okay? You won't regret it. So let's move right into the news real quick. This isn't going to be like a one-sided thing, but I do want to touch on some stuff that is kind of, it's like, what the fuck? Like, really? And one of those what the fuck political statement right now is gonna have to be this Ocasio-Cortez Ben Shapiro feud. Give me 1 second, guys. I don't want to watch Noah for the umpteenth time. I kind of want to see what else is on. Don't get me wrong, Russell Crowe, great actor, but like I've seen that movie so many times. But this is a young lady, Cortez, that beat out Joe Crowley. I mean, Joe Crowley had for years ran unopposed, and now all of a sudden Cortez just destroys him. She destroys him. And so, okay, I'm sorry, so, okay, she beat Joe Crowley and is now, running in New York from the 5 boroughs, little firecracker. But she is a socialist Democrat, okay? Now, some of her more outlandish comments have been about abolishing ICE, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, which is absurd, really is. One of the other things she said that's just been completely ludicrous is we need Medicare for everybody, which would cost $32 trillion with a TRILLION, $32 trillion, people. That's how much it would cost. $32 trillion. She is opposed to a border wall between the U.S. and Mexico, although Mexico has a border wall to some of its more southern neighbors, because it would cost too much. Yes, trillions of dollars is a lot less than a few billion. So she's not real good at math, and she doesn't know how to pay for a lot of her ideals. But Ben Shapiro, now Ben Shapiro is a conservative, hold on, my cat and my dog are kind of staring each other down, and that's kind of interesting. But no, Ben Shapiro is a conservative, commenter, and Ben Shapiro really knows his shit. Ben Shapiro is also a very, I don't want to say he's blunt like I am, because he's not as rude. But Ben really has a way of making the obvious even more painfully obvious. And I like that about Ben. And I think Ben is the kind of conservative that if a Democrat or a progressive was right about something, Ben is the kind of guy that would say, you know what, you're right about this. That's the kind of guy Ben is. He is a fair guy. And I've watched a lot of stuff Ben has commented on. And to call Ben racist or sexist is just ludicrous. Now, I'm not saying people may not have skeletons in their closet. Jared from Subway is a prime example. But it's just like Ben literally just said, you know what? Ocasio-Cortez, I will give you $10,000. $10,000 to your campaign to go on TV and debate me about these issues. Debate. Like what political rivals generally do. And Cortez comes back at him with, I will not respond to catcalling. Catcalling. Like, yo, baby, what's up? Hey, girl, I want to hit that. That's catcalling. And she's basically saying Ben is sexist. She threw the sexist card. Ladies, I know a lot of you wanted Hillary to win. And I understand why. I do. Picks a better female than Hillary Clinton, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, I'm not saying a female is bad for the job. I'm not. I'm saying Hillary Clinton herself, Hillary Clinton was bad for the job, not a woman. You could have put another woman in there. There's a whole list of much more qualified women that would have been better for the job. Just saying. But she's throwing out that sexist card, and that is demeaning to women in general. Because she literally called out her opponent, Joe Crowley, when she was running against him and won. She called him out for not debating her. But yet when Ben Shapiro does it, oh, it's sexist. But, not gonna lie, I was really impressed to see Candace Owens come back and get Ben Shapiro 6 and literally tell Ocasio-Cortez, hey, I'll give you $20,000, $20,000 to your campaign to debate me. Cortez can't throw out the sexist card. She can't throw out the catcalling card. She can't throw out the racist card. So, I mean, there's a lot of young and up-and-coming Democrats that are getting elected into seats, and they really do want to work across the aisle for the best interest of all their constituents, Democrat and Republican, progressive and conservative. And you have a lot of young Republicans, same way. We have so many establishment Republicans and Democrats that are intent on infighting, that we're not getting anything really done. I mean, Democrats have stalled DACA until it's become an issue. They stalled this border wall and this immigration issue, and that's the problem. They want to resist Trump, but not work with fixing the problem. I get it, you don't like the guy, but we still need to fix this problem. And resisting and protesting is not fixing the problem, guys. It's really not. Being on Twitter, Donald, and egging the situation on isn't really helping the problem. The first couple of tweets, we understand. We got that. Now, Donald, move on to tweeting about something else. Really. You're beating a dead horse, brother. We all know that a lot of establishment Democrats do not want to work with you on an immigration issue, although there are a lot of other Democrats who do. And we don't need to to be picking sides. Although the Democrats lately have not made it hard. You're making it easy, guys. You know. I want to move on to something a little bit funny, however, this Trump Walk of Fame. You know, Trump got his Walk of Fame not for being president, but for The Apprentice. And he earned it. But, you know, the West Hollywood City Council passed a resolution last week to remove Trump's star, citing his abuse of women, minorities, and the disabled. Where's the proof? Where's the proof he's abused anybody? So he said, grab him by the pussy. Oh my God. I could literally point to any star on that Hollywood Walk of Fame and somebody said something far worse. But while we're on the subject, Kevin Spacey and Bill Cosby still have their stars on the Walk of Fame. You know, Bill Cosby was recently convicted of drugging women and raping them, but he still has his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, as does Kevin Spacey, and a long list of others. But we're gonna cite Donald Trump. You see, I grew up, my father once told me, son, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. What's good for one is good for another. That's equality. And this isn't very equal. So I think this just shows that as a whole, Donald Trump is being really treated this way out of some petty, stupid shit. This is just petty shit. And it's easily provable. I mean, I don't care if you like the guy or not. Wrong is wrong. It's that simple. You can't preach about equality, and when you see somebody being treated unequally or unfairly, you let it go because, oh, I just don't like them personally. That doesn't work that way, folks. It doesn't work that way. See, that's the issue. You know, if you're going to say, you know what, we're going to remove Donald Trump's start for these things, but while we're at it, we're removing Kevin Spacey's, we're removing Bill Cosby's, we're removing, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger's. Oh, yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger cheated on his wife. Remember? With the maid, and they got a kid. You know, Steven Seagal's. I can keep going. I can keep going. You know, it's, again, progressives are making it too easy, you know. One of the other things that's kind of hit the news this weekend is this whole Charlottesville thing. You know, you got these two groups, this far right and far left group. You got Antifa counter protesting this fringe group, and they're both about violence. Both groups are about violence. You have one group that's led by Gavin McInnes, basically, called the Proud Boys, which sounds like a pedophile group if you ever heard of one. And they're holding white pride rallies, but we're not white supremacists. It's a white pride rally, dumbass. You're not exactly saying let's have unity and equality. You know what? I want to see one of these gatherings where it's a pride, not just gay pride or straight pride or black pride or Hispanic pride or Asian, but you know what? A bunch of motherfuckers that are just proud to be fucking Americans. I'm a white American. He's a black American. That dude's over there's a Chinese American. We're all of different cultural backgrounds, but we're all Americans. Let's have an American pride rally where gay, straight, black, white, Muslim, Christian, we can all get together, eat some barbecue, listen to some different music, tell some fucking jokes. That's the kind of pride rallies we need to be having. Supporting one another as human beings, as fellow Americans. Oh, you own a gay bakery. That is awesome. What do y'all specialize in? Oh, bundt cakes? I love a good bundt. How do you get your sponge so moist? You know, we don't have that anymore. We don't have block parties without there, you know, being issues for the most part. So, you know, the real problem with this whole thing this weekend is it's a white pride rally. Then you have Antifa that thinks they need to go and correct people. No, you don't. You need to stay your fucking asses in your parents' basement. Okay? Eventually, Antifa and these Proud Boys, you know what I say? Just take them out to the desert and let them fucking fight it out to the death. Fuck this shit. We got so much other shit going on that we need to be focused on, that we're spending time with asinine pussy ass issues. White pride, black pride. How about just get back to fucking making our country fucking sustainable again? We got a homeless problem. We got a 22 veteran day suicide problem. You know, I mean, fuck, guys. We got enough problems here at home. We need to stop worrying about white pride, black pride, Asian pride. We just need to start working together. Okay, that's the goddamn problem with this shit. We're not working together. We're not Voltroning shit. This is why aliens don't visit us. They anal probe us instead, because that's more entertaining. You know, I mean, how can you honestly? I gotta agree with a lot of liberals on this one. When you have a group that's having a pride rally, it's a white pride rally. Yeah, I got to admit that's kind of racist. That's kind of racist. You're not being inclusive. And America is about being inclusive. The Native Americans included the white people when they came over. And, you know, we should be doing more of that. You know, y'all keep this up. Both of these groups, these white pride groups and these fucking super far right groups, like the Proud Boys and Antifa, you motherfuckers are gonna literally give Donald Trump the means he needs to enact fucking martial law. Quite honestly, guys, stop fucking making the problem worse. You know, I'm going to take a quick second. I'm going to go grab my coffee and water. We're going to take a little break from some serious shit, like a little nap break. So let me grab something to drink real quick. And while I do that, I'm going to give you the Sarge cam. Pay no attention to the sleeping dog. All right. I know some of y'all enjoyed that. Some of y'all probably could give a shit. That's my service dog. Yeah, guys, I'm just thirsty as fuck for some reason. When you go to drink your coffee and you get a mouthful of coffee grounds. Need a little bit of water to get the coffee grounds. Interesting. All right. So we talked about some semi-serious stuff. We're gonna get on to something. Hold on. Gotta look through my notes. I think I'm gonna skip this and move to the Claire's. I don't want to do too long tonight. Kind of want to end with a little bit about myself. You know, because I understand a lot of people go through a lot of shit. So, where to start? I got into this industry because of necessity. I had been being treated by the VA for years, starting in 2006. And I used to take my dad to the VA. I'd gone to the VA with my grandfather, so it wasn't like I was new to any of this. I kind of knew how they worked. And I let it put me on everything. I mean, every benzo, every old school psychiatric medication. I'm gonna get a little comfortable here, guys. And it was hard. Plus, I was on a lot of pain pills, hydrocodone, Dilaudid, the fentanyl patches, morphine, because I was in a lot of physical pain. Literally, before they did my disc fusion, I had a double disc fusion back in 2012. Before they did my disc fusion, I'd gone in to get a discogram. When they did it, they're like, your L5S1 is completely gone. It's gone. You're bone on bone. Your L4 to L5, that disc there is 90% gone. You're pretty much almost bone on bone. I don't know how you're walking. I have to walk. So I did the surgery, and they put me on all these pills, all of them. I mean, I was on a lot of pain medication. Long story short, when I was getting divorced, I was at the Cannabis Cup, and I had just gotten divorced in February, and I was at a really low point in my life. And I was going to the Cannabis Cup in Denver to speak with Marijuana for Trauma, a group out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada, which is just in the news. And guys, if y'all get a chance to watch this, I know y'all just had this tragedy there. Brothers, my heart goes out to you. I know a lot of y'all had told me y'all got friends on the police force. You guys are real involved in the community there in Fredericton, and guys, just, my condolences to the community. Me and these guys from Marijuana for Trauma, who are from Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. Good God, guys, that's a lot to say. Really great guys. They really pushed and made the medical cannabis program happen for the veterans in Canada and the Canadian VA system. Yeah, I got to help those guys, and we spoke at this event together, and just really, really great group of guys. And while I was there, I was going to speak at the event and then jump off of the Hotel Monaco, from the roof while the blood moon eclipse was going on. I mean, if you're going to throw yourself off a building and commit suicide, that's kind of a cool time to do it, if you ask my opinion. But I had met Joe Bermudez. He was with Vaporizers, and he had his own company, Smoky Hash. And when I was telling him, I bought the V2 Globe when it first came out, and it had really helped with my PTSD and anxiety. It was just a great product. It was well worth the money I'd spent. It's just been wonderful. He and I had just talked. It was like something happened, and he saw something in me that I didn't see at the time. And he went out of his way to make me see that. So I didn't kill myself like I had intended to. And it's not like when I was married, I tried to commit suicide. That's why I've got a service dog. And so I know those feelings all too well. I'll live with them. A little bit different now. But because of Joe Bermudez and Smoky Hash, I've gone on to start my own company. I've gone on to become respected in the industry by doctors at the VA, by a lot of veterans that just weren't able to get help anywhere else. I don't do this because I wanna become a billionaire. I mean, I've got kids, and I'd like to make enough money to where, I can make sure whatever emergencies come up, I can take care of it and maybe enjoy traveling, but I don't do this for money. I mean, you guys don't understand. I grew up building pipelines with my old man. I mean, goddamn good money. Money a lot of people in this industry don't see. So it really isn't about the money for me. This is about, at one time, I was a veteran that could not get help. I could not find anything that helped me, and I wanted to die. I wanted to take my own life. And I found somebody in a product that helped me, and I want to make sure that I don't just pay it forward. I want to leave something when I go. I want to have left something that other veterans are going to be able to benefit from. And then not only benefit from, but my intention is anything I ever leave for veterans, I want them to carry further, make better. You know, this is what I did, guys. You can do better than me. God damn, if this is the best, if no one does anything better than this, what the fuck, guys? I want somebody to do better than me. I want somebody to create something better. I want them to look at what I create and go, you know what, that's good, but I can do better. We can do better now. That's the point. You know, it is our job to leave something for the next generation. Not to leave it easier for them, but to leave a challenge for them to be better than we were. And I got to be honest, guys, we haven't been very good to each other lately. We really haven't. And this next generation's already worse than we were. So we are failing. Not only ourselves, but the generations that are coming up behind us. And we really need to do a better job of that. You know, when we push adult film stars to commit suicide because, you know, we can't respect their personal opinions, we have failed as a society. When we have kids committing suicide in grade school, middle school, high school because of bullying, we have failed as a society. When we have school shootings because of bullying, we have failed as a society. We need to be less about protesting and rallies and marches and more about actually getting out there and helping one another. Help the local communities. Don't talk about it. Go out and help them. I'm just going to leave it at that, guys. Yeah. Dude snores so loud. You ought to hear it. I shit you not. He used to wake me up. It was hilarious. It drove my ex-wife like insane. So, there we have our closeout. And I want to take a second and I want to thank two of our sponsors. First off, I want to thank Smoky Hash. He is amazing. All of the products that Patriot DavWorks has for veterans is powered by Smoky Hash. I do the science behind it, so yeah, I'm a little jaded. But if you have a product, if you have a product, any product, an apparatus, edibles you'd like for us to try, please hit me up in DM. Just sending me your product, unless it's like a quartz banger or a glass piece or a vaporizer. If it's even then, any product you send me that you'd like to see me use on the show and talk about for veterans or something like that, hit me up in DM. But I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. I take like anywhere from a week to 2 weeks testing out a product, and I usually buy I buy all of the apparatuses you see. Like Eris, I'm trying to work on a deal getting a sponsorship from them, but I bought the product myself and I've been testing it myself. Same thing with all of our quartz bangers, and I can basically blow glass. I need to get some more time behind the torch. But the thing is I spend my money like any other veteran would. I want to test the product. But if you have one you'd like for us to test out, please hit me up in DM, and I will be more than happy to discuss buying your product, testing it out, and, you know, seeing how well it works. Now, I usually take 2 weeks to test the product before I ever mention it on a show. Unless it's just one of those products that's blowing me away right at the get-go. But even then, I take like 5 to 7 days to field test products. That's anything from edibles, oils, whatever. And it's just to be fair to you guys. If y'all want to talk about sponsorship, please hit me up in DM, and I'm always interested in talking about sponsorships. If you have an idea for a show, for a subject, you know what? Hit me up in DM if you just want to talk shit. You know what? Even if you want to talk shit and be negative, I just ask that you be polite and professional and remember that, you know, I can just delete that shit. I'm a savage motherfucker, but you know what? This isn't here to be trolled or savage. A lot of these videos are going to be here to help people. So if you got a fucking problem with that, well, you can go fuck yourself, because I really don't give a shit. So, again, anything you guys want to talk about, please private message me. Would love to hear your thoughts on stuff. And if you are one of those, you know, people that's contemplating suicide, if you've got a lot going on and you feel like you don't have anyone to talk to, hit me up in DM. I'll be getting everything set up. So, you know, I'll have a number you can call that'll come to me directly. That's not like gonna be my, you know, a number for people to stalk me with. I'm the last person you want to stalk, seriously. But I am one of those people that I don't give a fuck if you've watched my show and have never commented, but you know what? If you're sitting there in the middle of the night and you got no one else to talk to and you're thinking about ending your life, you know what? Call me. I don't give a fuck what time it is. I will answer my phone and I will talk to you and I will help you as best I can, because no one deserves to sit there in the darkness begging for help. I know what it feels like to be there, literally. And I made myself a promise after I met my business partner that after everything he put into me, all the effort, all the mentoring, I would never let anyone else feel the way I felt. I would do whatever it took to help them as much as I could. So if you're one of those people, or if you're one of those veterans that's possibly going to be one of the 22 a day and you're contemplating taking your life, please contact me. I'll give you my number. We can talk 24/7 if you need to. Just don't take your own life without reaching out. Okay? So, you know, that's this week's video. I'm going to try to get a better schedule. I'm going to definitely try to get at least a better camera, a better screen. I think my screen protector is a little cracked, which is kind of why it's, I don't know. I'm learning. So, it's first video, guys, and that's going to be it for the Daily Blunt. I didn't run by the store and actually grab blunts. Sorry. I thought I had some here, and I forgot. I helped a neighbor out, so. Tangerine water, gotta love it. I like tangerines. So, I look forward to seeing you guys on the next show. Next week's Daily Blunt, one of the subjects we are going to cover is this FBI DOJ thing. It's going to be good. It's going to be really good. All right? See you guys next week. Remember, Patriot Dabworks loves you.